Welcome back, Indiana Sports Speed Radio here on this Tuesday. Glad to have you alongside of us here from the Hard Truth Distilling Company studios. Mike DeCourcy from the Sporting News joining us. Make sure you're giving him a follow and reading that content at the Sporting News. Tons of content there covering virtually everything that you'd want to visit. Mike, College GameDay coming to Bloomington this week on the heels of Big Noon Kickoff being in Bloomington. So it is just ramping up for this football program. They are undoubtedly the darling of college football. And yeah, we all know how crazy that is, because even I, as positive as I've been on this team all year long, I didn't see all of this coming. And it is a lot. It's like a tidal wave because it just keeps coming, and it's all good. It's publicity. It's marketing that IU couldn't afford to buy in their wildest imaginations because it's organic. It is what it's doing for recruiting. My God, they had a litany of guys on the sidelines last week for that beatdown they put on Nebraska. And I guarantee you, there's no way that doesn't open eyes. So all things are rolling in the right direction for this Indiana football program right now.
I don't think there's anything that we didn't anticipate other than, I mean, think about it. When we first started talking about this after maybe the first, second, third game, somewhere in there, and we looked at the schedule, you and I, and we said, okay, Maryland, you get that one and you're in really good shape. And then at all points to Nebraska, what we didn't anticipate was that Nebraska would become the throttling that it did. I mean, the best case scenario did not say, what was the final, 59-7?
Yes.
Am I right about that number?
56-7.
56-7. Okay. I mean, the best case scenario didn't go anywhere near that. I mean, I think the dream scenario for beating Nebraska was probably 38-21 or something like that, to completely shut them down and to blow them out on the other end was staggering. And that's, I think, the part that you didn't anticipate. It would probably still be at the level that it is inside. The fan base would still be as jazzed about what's coming if 38-21 had happened. But I think what 56-7 said was, hey, all you people who've been skeptical about IU because they're IU and because they haven't played yet the most difficult part of their schedule, you better get serious about this. You better watch, because there's something happening there. I think that's the difference that Saturday conveyed.
Yeah, the only people that are not believing are fans of other programs who are just like, well, they still haven't played anybody now, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. They're only leading the nation in scoring after 7 weeks. They played, four Big Ten opponents, 2 of them on the road. So it's either by who, it doesn't matter to me. I don't care what somebody believes, but it's not reality to ignore all that. They are what they are. I mean, their defense is great, their offense is great, but they've got their biggest challenges yet ahead when now Washington comes in, which is not supposed to be a bigger challenge than Nebraska, but you've got to go on the road to Michigan State team that's not been anything other than mediocre. You've got a Michigan team coming in that's not having the season that they expected. But the Ohio State game, that's going to be fun because it will be coming off of a bye, and Kurt Cignetti is now 7-1 coming off of bye weeks. And Nebraska was a bye coming off of a bye week for them.
Right.
So it's going to be, there's a lot of excitement, some backstories, and it's just going to be fun because Kurt Cignetti takes every one of these challenges like it's almost like it's personal.
Well, I think the concern now is that you don't lose momentum or have an upset as a result of the injury to Curtis Rourke. I think that's, to me, is the most important thing. If they were to be upset against Washington because he's unavailable to play, or if they if this great momentum and system and formula and all of that's been continuing to accelerate, all of a sudden starts to develop problems because he misses a week or so. That's the concern now. I mean, if they'd come out of the Nebraska game healthy, I think that that it would be, it'd be a lot less concerning Saturday's game. But I agree with the commenter who just said you need to worry about Washington, because you're not. If you were coming into this game whole, it'd be kind of like the Northwestern game was. Just make sure you don't take your eye off the ball. But because you don't know what you'll be without him, if indeed he's unavailable to play, that seems to be the consensus of the reports. I don't know that IU has declared him out, but I know that's the consensus.
I do not expect him to play. They have pretty much ruled him out. I think that Jackson has been named the starter.
But I think that you got to the main thing now is not impressing anybody like that. You've done the impressing and all of that. Now it's all about W's, and especially in an impaired situation, it's all about just going out and making sure you do enough to win.
Yeah, and if they were able to get to 10-0 and the magical game against Ohio State, that is going to be something that, wow, we didn't see coming. Now, in this era of the transfer portal, this stuff can happen, but to happen where it is, but how he's doing it. 44 players on his roster, 0 stars coming out of high school. It's amazing that they are using pure coaching and talent. These guys are talented. The great thing is, I think that so many of these guys are going to get opportunities after college that might not have had. Elijah Surratt, maybe he does, maybe he doesn't, if he stays in, at the mid-level. But man, he has been shown to be a top-level potential receiver and an NFL-type guy, making incredible catches. You've got Curtis Rourke, who came from Ohio in the Heisman conversation now. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it does. I mentioned Dalton Connect before, and it does remind me of that in some of these instances, because Dalton Connect, my favorite factoid of the 2023-24 college basketball season was that Dalton Connect was second team All-Sky in his final season at Northern Colorado, second team All Big Sky. And then he's first team All-American and number 2 in line for National Player of the Year as a senior I guess he was a 5th year, but as a senior or whatever at Tennessee. It's just that those are the kinds of things that can happen. There are guys out there that, now the pros usually will see you, but if they see you in this context, as opposed to the context of wherever you might be before, if you are seen in this context and you are succeeding in this context, it's easier for them to evaluate you. They can invest more in that evaluation. They can believe in that evaluation more. And the Steelers have a guy named Mason McCormick playing right guard for them right now. Came from South Dakota State. It was a 4th-round pick. If he's that same player and he's playing at Wisconsin, is he a 2nd-round pick? Is he maybe, well, it's hard for guards to be 1st-round picks, but maybe he's a late 1st-round pick. If he's doing the same things at Wisconsin, I think it does help you to succeed at the highest level. Again, it's not a disqualifier to be playing at a lesser level than the Big Ten, SEC, etc. But it does help.
Mike, what's up next for you, my friend?
Actually, technically, I am on vacation this week, Jim. So what's up next for me is to continue watching movies. I think that taking walks in the beautiful fall air and watching movies, I think, is what I'm up to.
What's the next title it's up?
I haven't decided that yesterday, but yesterday I watched Day of the Jackal, 1973 or 74 film, originally from a novel by Frederick Forsyth, who's one of my favorite authors. It was really interesting, a very interesting piece of early 70s drama set in France in 1963 about the assassination attempt on Charles de Gaulle. Very, very compelling film.
Looking forward to it. Mike DeCourcy from the Sporting News. Make sure you're giving him a follow, keeping up with the content there. Thank you, sir. We appreciate you.
Thanks, Jim.